Hey everybody, it's the Doll Boy, and today I'm giving a big makeover to one very big doll. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that around December of last year, I added this second-hand limited edition Moana doll to my doll collection. And ever since I got her, I've really wanted to give her hair a good restyle. Because I was not the biggest fan of the way her original hair was executed, but at the same time I was very overwhelmed by the amount of hair on this doll's head, since she is the 17-inch version of Moana, and because she's a limited edition doll, this process did take me quite a while. After playing with the original hair for a bit though, I finally gathered up all my courage and started this extreme makeover to give this Moana doll a full head of box braids. For this, I wanted to start off by taking my straightener to stretch out Moana's original hair. You might be able to do these braids on her original curly hair too, but for me it really helped me to straighten out the hair first, because that allowed me to brush out and part off the hair much easier. For this step, I go in sections and brush out the hair, and then I spray it with water before going in with my straightener. To smooth it out as well as I can, I do go over each section 2 times. This did not leave the hair pin straight, but for the braids I'm doing, I also don't need that perfectly straight look. As you can see, Moana's original hair has a very blunt haircut, which is gonna be pretty hard to hide in the box braids. That's why I decided to thin out the ends of the original rooted hair quite a lot to make sure the hair goes really thin towards the ends. This will make the transition from her original hair to the extension hair much neater without a lot of extra effort. This step does make the hairstyle very permanent, so if you're unsure if you want to do this to your doll, I do recommend to try it out on a cheaper doll first, before going all in with a limited edition Disney doll. After cutting the hair like this all over, I prepared the hair even more by pre-sectioning it off into small braids, so it will be easier to add the extension hair to these braids later. I did end up joining some of these sections together while doing the actual braids, because the parts I'm making here are very thin. To add hair to all of these braids, I went on Aliexpress and got a bunch of braiding hair for her. I got several shades of brown and golden blonde, and some ombre hair as well, because I really wanted to add some of that brown and golden highlight, but have the top of the hair that really dark natural hair color. As you can see, the ombre colors I got are black to brown, black to dark blonde to a lighter blonde, a black to golden blonde, and a black to brown to that same golden blonde. I also got some regular brown and a golden blonde shade that I didn't end up using that much. For the box braids on Moana's hair, I mixed in all of the shades of the ombre to give it a very natural, highlighted look. As you can see, the way the hair originally comes, the color starts all at the same point, so I made sure to pull one of the sides to make the color start higher up. That's because we're working on doll scale, and keeping the hair folded in the middle would only let the color start around the waist. And I did want to get some color payoff a lot higher already. Then I prepared some strands so they were ready to go. so I can start working on the actual braids. For this, I'm sectioning off her original hair into 3 sections and adding 1 section of braiding hair right away. After having that secured, I add another section to that 1 strand that didn't get the extension yet. And after that, I add another strand to the braid. For this first braid, I wasn't a big fan of the beginning of the braid, but I did get better at this as I did more braids, which you'll see in a bit. Around halfway down the braid, I also added a small strand of that direct color to make that highlight a bit more prominent sooner in the braid. The second braid I did the exact same way, and as you can see, that one already looks a lot neater at the root. For these braids, I'm braiding them down to about floor length, because I will cut off the rest of the length anyways. After doing like a million more of these braids, the hair was already getting very thick. So as I moved up the hair, I kind of changed the way I added the hair, which I also wanted to show you. As I already mentioned in the beginning of this video, this was the point where I started adding some of the pre-sectioned braids together to make sure I would not get too many braids, so that the full style wouldn't come out way too thick. For the actual braiding process, I still section the original hair into 3, and then I add the hair to that first loop, but this time I add the second strand right after that on the second loop. I feel like this really helped me in keeping those roots a lot neater, which I really like. And then to make sure the hair won't get too thick, these are the only 2 strands I'm adding to these braids. Because of the way I thinned out the original rooted hair, I also didn't feel like I really needed to add another extension piece to keep the same volume throughout the braid. In this particular braid, I did mix the blonde and brown ombre hair, and for those braids, I like to brush out the hair as I'm braiding it to really blend those 2 colors together. For the braids I didn't do this, you can obviously tell that it's more stripy, so brushing it out just makes it look a bit more natural and blended, which is what I was going for. When you compare the new braids to the ones I did on the bottom, you can definitely tell that the newer ones are less thick at the ends, giving you a much sleeker look. I did decide to keep the bottom ones in and see how I liked it after completing the style, because I did not feel like redoing all of these braids. For now, I'm simply going to keep braiding the rest of the hair like I did for those previous braids, adding only those 2 strands of extension hair at the very root. As I'm getting closer to the front of the hair, I will add a very small strand of the full colored extensions to let the colored streaks start higher up than they would if I would only use the ombre hair. Also, as you can see, sometimes it does take me a few tries to get a specific braid to lay exactly the way I want, and whenever that will happen, I simply take out the extension hair carefully and re-braid it until I'm happy with the way it looks. Honestly, watching back this braiding process sped up like this looks so satisfying to me, so please enjoy this little montage of me braiding Moana. After braiding all of the hair, we still have a lot of hair left at the ends, which I'm going to cut off straight across about floor length. I'm now going in for each individual braid and undo the ends and then thin that out a lot. Then I rebraid the hair, which gives you this very nice and tapered result. I repeat these same steps for all of the braids to get that really nice finished look. This honestly took me quite a while, so be prepared to watch some Netflix or YouTube videos while you do this. After thinning out all of the braids, the ends are looking like this, and I'm dipping those in a bowl of boiling water. This is a very nice and easy way to seal the ends, so if you see some braids that are unraveling, this is the perfect time to redo those ends and dip them in again. I actually dipped in the full head as well after dipping the ends, because I feel like that makes the hair a lot more flexible. Then I do rinse these braids in cold water too, to really set the style. And after letting that air dry, these are the results. I honestly love how Moana's new hairstyle came out. If you do too, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more doll makeover videos like this one. Also, with the variety of braiding hair available, it could be really fun to give Moana another hair color in the future too. So if you have a fun hair color request, let me know in the comments down below. Then if you want to see more pictures of the hairstyles I'm making with my dolls, follow me on Instagram as well, @thedollboy. See you next time!